is good, my beautiful people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are on Air Canada Flight 105 with service from Toronto to Vancouver. We are currently in seat 9 kilo on the Boeing 777-300. And today we will be reviewing Air Canada's signature business class product. Now, this is actually my very first time flying Air Canada, so not only is this going to be my experience with respect to their business class product, but also my first experience with them as an airline. As always, most of this will probably be voiceover style, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the review. This is Air Canada's Boeing 777-300 extended range configuration, also known as the Boeing 777-300ER. Now, quick fun fact about the 777 family. This family exclusively operates the world's most powerful commercial jet engine, the GE9X, rated for a whopping 134,000 pounds of thrust per engine. Now, not all of those engines can achieve that thrust rating. It really depends on what the airline chooses. However, they can all achieve that thrust rating through a FADEC upgrade. Think of it if you play video games like DLCs or a software update. Yes, you can get more thrust with a software update by updating the control panel, essentially for the engine. This plane features 40 reverse herringbone configured lie-flat seats in business class, 24 recliner seats in premium economy, and a whopping 336 standard seats in regular economy. Now, the best seat on this aircraft is really up to your personal preferences, since they're all kind of designed equally, but there are a couple of things to keep in mind and a couple of drawbacks with certain seats. Now, personally, I'd aim for seats 1 alpha and 1 kilo or 2 alpha and 2 kilo, mostly because you get served quicker being closer to the front. However, if being near the galley or the bathroom drives you nuts, definitely go a little bit further back. Just keep in mind that the trade-off is being served later. One more tip, I would avoid seats 7 alpha and 7 kilo because they only have one window. Now, I am in seat 9 kilo, and the first thing I notice is how spacious it is. There's loads of room for storage and decent legroom in the footwell. To my right, there's a compartment that houses a set of headphones. It also doubles as storage, and it contains the remote for the in-flight entertainment system. Plus, there's also an outlet, a USB port, and a headphone jack as well. There is also extra storage under the ottoman and to the side of your seat. Now, I really liked a lot of the finishes that have been chosen, specifically this wood grain finish. I really wish they would have carried that design over to where the white panels are near the windows to make it feel a little bit more cohesive and a little bit more luxurious. The seat's fabric and stitching look and feel premium. You will also find a personal reading light on the side of the seat. One of the cool features about the seat, though, is that you can customize the seat's firmness using the side control panel. There's also a cool massage feature, but it kind of feels more like a gentle, slight kneading rather than a good deep massage. You can also adjust your lighting, your seat angle, and call for service through this panel. Now, I'm going to get picky, but it's because you're paying a lot of money. My biggest complaint is the lack of privacy that this seat offers. I can see the top of the person's head in front of me, and the pod isn't really enclosed enough to feel private. And when you stood up, you could definitely look everybody in the face and in the eye, regardless of where they were seated in the cabin. And if I'm getting a little bit more nitpicky about the beginning of the flight, there was no welcome beverage on this flight. Just a bottle of water, which is a little disappointing. That could be because this was a domestic flight, but if you fly domestic first on a US airline, generally they give you a welcome drink if you have time. I'll talk more about that later, but for now, let's enjoy takeoff. Once we're in the air, meal service is where Air Canada really shines. Their soft product is amazing. The crew absolutely stood out. And to me, the soft product really starts during the boarding process. As we were completing our boarding process, everybody who was going to serve my section of the cabin came up and greeted themselves personally, giving me their name and asking was there anything that they could do to make the flight better. And this made it feel really luxurious. And because they were so attentive, I felt like I really had a customized customized personal experience within reason on my flight. Now, we started off with an appetizer, and that was a fruit salad, chia pudding with coconut, and warm bread. Now, I skipped the chia pudding because of the way it looks. I'm pretty sure it tastes fine, but it just kind of weirded me out. The fruit salad was a fruit salad. Nothing mind-blowing, but it was fresh. For the main breakfast course, it was between a parsley omelet or pancakes. I went with the omelet, which came with pan-fried chicken sausage, Parmesan cheese, spinach, roasted potatoes, and a tomato cumin chutney. Overall, it looked good and it tasted good. I was satisfied at the end of my meal. For drinks, if you know me, there's one thing I love, and that's a white wine. I tried both of them. One was from Argentina and one was from Nova Scotia. The Argentina white I enjoyed because of its dryness, while the Riesling I enjoyed for its smooth finish. However, I felt like the Riesling is still too sweet of a wine for me personally. Although these were both good, I ultimately stuck with my vodka tonic for this flight. After breakfast, I decided to check out the in-flight entertainment, and guys, I'm a bit torn. Here's why. Visually, the design and the interface looks super clean. It's very modern, which is something I love. I loved the moving map and the options that you had for different visuals of the flight. They also had the menu for the flight accessible right there on screen, so you knew your drink options without having to look at the actual menu. And then there was also even a shopping section and even a weather section. They also have a huge range of shows and movies, everything from the new Joker movie to series like Severance and Big Little Lies, plus music, games, and kid-friendly stuff. The downside is how painfully slow and laggy the interface is. You can see the input lag when I'm touching the screen here, and you can feel the slow load times. This really hurt the experience for me overall. Maybe it won't bother everyone, but if you like snappy electronics, it's definitely noticeable. If you'd like to know the entertainment options for your specific flight, I left a link in the description down below. After all of this, I decided to set up my bed and see how comfortable it was. And simply put, it was comfortable. The cabin temperature was pretty good, so I didn't get too warm. They provided a mattress pad, a duvet, and a pillow. No amenity kit or slippers, but this is understandable. It's a domestic flight. Now, there's no special branding around this duvet set like there is United's signature Saks Fifth Avenue bedding, but it wasn't uncomfortable. It was actually pretty nice. And everybody got the same items on this particular flight, and I actually had to request a mattress topper on my international United flights to London, and they had ran out of them on one of the flights. So I do like that everybody is getting stocked on this Air Canada flight. Although this flight is about 4 hours and 40 minutes long, since this is a domestic flight, there's not much more to cover. So let me go ahead and give you my final thoughts. Air Canada's biggest strength? Its soft product and its service. The crew went the extra mile with personal introductions at the start of the flight and personal thank yous at the end for every single passenger seated in business class, and they stayed attentive all the way through approach. The seat, however, falls a little bit short on privacy. The pod is a bit too low for my taste. My head sticks above the panel, and you can see here in the video that not only does it stick above the panel, you can also see my neighbor's head as well, and the camera is at a lower angle. The in-flight entertainment could also use a speed update, and a welcome beverage would be a nice touch. Would I book this route again though on Air Canada? Honestly, yes. Wide-body options are limited with Star Alliance Airlines from my home airport in Chicago. So I could either do the occasional 787, which has a layover in San Francisco to Vancouver, or I could take Air Canada's 7777 direct. So it's really going to depend on what's available and what I'm feeling. Personally, I would choose the Polaris seat over Air Canada's seat, but the service on Air Canada definitely wins me over. And on connecting flights, like my short flight from Montreal to Chicago, I got served chicken tenders, warmed chicken tenders as my snack. On United, that would be like a bag of chips and pretzels or something like that. So that's a huge plus. If you guys like my flight reviews and want to see more luxury lifestyle and travel content from me, be sure to give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, turn on those post notifications. If you have not, follow me on social media. The links are in the description down below, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think about Air Canada's signature business class. Now more than ever, my beautiful people, if you're ever feeling uninspired, uncreative, or just want to give up on life, remember, every day airplanes take off against the wind. Keep climbing, stay inspired, and as always, stay fabulous. My name is Sydney. I'll see you beautiful people next time. Peace out.